Ethan Pierce was the kind of man people remembered, not for his wealth or his achievements, but for his unwavering heart. He grew up on the quiet side of the city, where everyone knew each other's names, where secrets echoed longer than church bells, and where promises were either kept forever or broken forever. He met Clara Hayes when they were just 17. She was laughter in human form. Bright, loud, and full of dreams bigger than the small town they lived in. Ethan was calm, steady, the kind of soul who spoke softly but felt deeply. They fit together like seasons, her summer to his autumn. They planned everything, college together, careers, a house with a blue door, 2 dogs, maybe a daughter with Clara's eyes. But life, as it often does, changed their plans. Clara received a scholarship to a prestigious academy across the ocean, something she had worked for her entire life. Ethan was happy for her, but he didn't want her to leave. She didn't want to leave him either. They made a promise at the willow tree by the river, their hands tightly held. We'll wait for each other, no matter how long. But distance changes hearts. Not out of choice but out of circumstance. Letters came less often. Phone calls shortened. Texts became one-word replies. And then one day the messages stopped completely. No explanation. No goodbye. Only silence. Ethan's world quieted. Yet every sunset, he returned to that wooden bench by the willow tree, just in case she came back. People talked. You deserve someone who stays. She forgot you. Move on, Ethan. But love is not something you simply turn off. He didn't wait because he believed she owed him an explanation. He waited because his heart still remembered the sound of hers. Years went by. Ethan worked hard, took over his father's carpentry shop, and became known as a kind man who always helped others, fixing fences, building furniture, repairing old things people thought were broken beyond saving. Maybe that's why he held on so long, because he believed even broken things could be restored. Yet he never tried to replace Clara. He dated once or twice, but his heart wasn't free. He knew it, and the women who met him knew it too. They would say softly, almost kindly, "You're still waiting for her, aren't you?" And he would smile a sad, honest smile. "Yes, I am." One cold autumn evening, 7 years after she left, the sky was painted in gold and orange, the river quiet, the willow branches swaying softly in the breeze. Ethan sat on the bench as always, but this time someone was standing there. Clara. She was thinner, older, not in age but in the weight she carried behind her eyes. Her hair, once wild with sunlight, now fell subdued around her shoulders. She held her hands tightly together as though they were the only thing keeping her from falling apart. When Ethan saw her, his breath caught. His heart didn't race. It didn't leap. It simply recognized her. Like home. Clara stepped closer, tears welling. Ethan. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He only watched her, carefully, quietly, like he always did. She sat beside him. The river whispered between them. "I should have written," she said. "I should have called." "I know." He waited. Clara swallowed hard. "I was scared. Everything moved so fast. People expected things from me. I felt like I had to become someone else. And then, I met someone. It was never love like ours, but it was comfort. Or at least I thought it was." Ethan's jaw tightened, but he didn't interrupt. "We got married," she whispered. Ethan closed his eyes just once. But he wasn't kind. Not really. He pretended at first, but people show their real selves eventually. Her voice cracked. "I stayed because I didn't want to admit I had ruined everything. I stayed because I was ashamed. And when it finally ended, I didn't have anywhere to go. Except." She looked at him. "You." Silence. Pure. Heavy. Real. Ethan finally spoke, his voice steady. "Clara. I waited. Not for an explanation. Not for apologies. I waited because I loved you. But the person I waited for was the girl who believed in us. The girl who held my hand by this tree and promised we were enough." Clara's tears streamed freely. "I'm still her," she insisted. "Just damaged." Ethan looked at her gently, eyes warm. Not angry, not resentful. "We're all damaged, Clara. But love isn't just about waiting. It's about choosing. Again and again." He paused. "So I need to know, are you here because you love me? Or because you have nowhere else to go?" Clara took his hands, the same way she once did all those years ago. I never stopped loving you. Not a single day. Even when I was far away from you. Even when I was trying to build a life that wasn't right. I came back because you're the only place that has ever felt like home. Ethan's heart trembled. Not with pain but with something fragile and real. Hope. He pulled her into his arms. Not out of desperation. Not out of loneliness. But because love, the real kind, survives distance, silence, and time. The willow tree swayed above them as if it remembered, too. And in that quiet sunset, the town realized. He wasn't a fool. He was simply a man who knew the value of a promise.